Hey yo, what is up everyone? It is the Alpha J of the Alpha J Show, and did I forget to mention that Season 2 of Clarence is really good? I reviewed an episode from Season 2 before, in one of the most adorable episodes to come out of a not-so-great looking series. Ice Cream Hunt is probably one of the best episodes of Clarence hands down, just because of its complexity, design, and execution. It's not totally representative of Clarence, or even Season 2, but it deserves to be up there in terms of the best of Clarence, definitely the best of Season 2. So let's talk about Ice Cream Hunt. Before I get into the episode part, I would like to talk about this episode's title card. It's pretty neat, and if you see the background, which has notes on it, you'll see that the notes will play a very significant part in the episode. We get hit with Clarence playing in ice, and this weird time-lapse thing happens. The mother is busy doing taxes while watching a show, and Clarence approaches her so that he can ask for some ice cream, but Clarence's mother is busy. I think there's something to say here, because Clarence's mother, like many of us, do our work in front of a television. She ends up getting distracted easily and not being able to switch focuses that well. She ends up mumbling slightly in the process, just like the start of our episode, who you'll see later. This episode isn't going to dive into the neurochemicals of your brain and explain why you think this way in a scientific and logical way, but it will dive into the thought processes of a very complex person. But let's not get too ahead. Clarence goes around asking people to eat ice cream with him. Or is it lick ice cream? I'm gonna go with drink ice cream. But it could be a monetary thing. One minor gripe I have is that when you think about the grand scheme of this episode and the direction it's about to take you, a lot of this beginning is actually not needed or could have been shortened. We get our first shot of this gentleman. His name is Larry, or Clarence. We know this character from this episode here, where he met Clarence's teacher, and they went on a blind date. But again, this is from Season 1. Just like how Mystery Girl, they did a Clarence Gets a Girlfriend episode in Season 1, there's also a Larry episode in Season 1. That notepad he's holding isn't just any old prop. It's actually very important towards the goal of this episode, and I would advise you to pay close attention to Larry.
It's me, Clarence. Remember me?
Family, raised chickens?
Yep, that's me.
What's your yield?
As you can see, this is either creepy, cool, or interesting to you, and for me, it's in a gray area for all three. He has this information from the last time they spoke because he has it all written down. So Clarence fires the question of having ice cream together, and Larry mentions that he has never had ice cream before. So Clarence explains that it's so good, and he mentions the favorite flavors of his mother, of his friends, and of himself. His mom likes strawberry, Sumo likes vanilla, and Jeff likes hazelnut. Larry makes sure to write this stuff down too. And then we have a look into Larry's house, and as you can see, he collects a lot of things. I can't say exactly why he saves things just yet, but you can tell a lot about a person by their means and wares. And as he looks for his car keys, you get to see more of the stuff he collects and the amount of keys and notes that he has. They head out to get ice cream, and in the process, they get Sumo.
Is that your tire pile?
Oh, yeah.
That's a good pile.
And Jeff.
Wait, you're not Clarence's mom.
Are those flip-flops or sandals?
As you can see, he acts more than he would tell you. All of these things he would write down, by the way. So Clarence ends up not knowing where the ice cream store is, while Larry drives and writes everything down. Now let's put on our tinfoil hats for a second, which would be the second time for this series. I would like to explain a bit of a theory I had, which could be reaching, but I think since there's enough information about Larry that any valid explanation could be a good explanation. And I trust that you guys watching would be able to at least make the connection that I'm trying to bring to the table. Was that pandering? I think that Larry is the way that he is because of a collision he had as a child or older to the head, which caused him to have the habit of wanting to collect as much information as he can, because he himself may not be able to retain it. I believe the backing up into the trash explains the collision, with the trash representing all of the information, useless or not, and the dogs being the actual useful information. And the farther he drives, or lives his life, the less information gathered until he croaks over, basically.
I forget things all the time. If I didn't write it down.
All of these are just filled with useless gibberish. Why would anyone save this?
So Larry forgets things all the time and has to write everything down, basically. I'm not just pulling this theory out of thin air. Jeff picks up one of the notes and is filled with useless information from the outside looking in. You could also say that Larry has forgotten why he's driving, or he does know and he forgot why he should be focusing while driving, which causes him to drift onto the freeway, drive a lot slower than the other drivers, and eventually turn into oncoming traffic, causing a driver carrying chickens to flip over and crash. And as they enter to the shop, we get probably one of the weirdest voices to ask for ice cream. And it's weird because it's really unconventional. Something is slightly off about it. But now let me ask you something. Do you remember earlier in this video what ice cream that Clarence liked? How about the ones that his mom, Sumo, and Jeff liked? Now, if you said yes, well, you have a good memory, or you've written it down. If you said no, then you can at least understand why the following happens.
1 chocolate for Clarence here. 1 vanilla for Sumo, and 1 hazelnut for Jeff.
Wait, how did you know what flavors we wanted?
Wrote it down.
So you just write everything down in case it's useful later?
What? Yeah,
I mean, how do you know what to write down and what to leave out?
it's all important.
Probably one of the best scenes aside from Clarence and Bella, and I can make a compilation of scenes like this. I really do like Larry as a character, and he's open to doing anything, and it seems like he has a certain sort of amnesia where he might know everything prior to the collision, which makes me think this came about later in his life, but he's unable to retain new information, and possibly might wake up every day resetting back to the day where he forgot everything, which results him in keeping everything, because in his circumstances, everything is important. For a person who can't retain information, it wouldn't be the best to just throw everything away. Larry's first car gets towed, and we get to see some of Jeff's skepticism. He doesn't believe that everything will be important, and kind of believes that Larry is this weird old man who likes to write everything down.
Oh, so we're going through a bush now. Great plan. I mean, sure, he knows what ice cream we like, but does he really know where he's going?
There it is. Found it.
So they all end up at Clarence's home, and Larry gets around to eating his first ice cream. There is a small plot hole though. I won't be completely ignorant about some of the negatives of this particular episode. He ordered 4 ice creams from the scene before, and now he has one himself, because he ordered one for Clarence, he ordered one for Clarence's mom, and he ordered one for Sumo, and he ordered one for Jeff. Now, I'm not the best when it comes to math, but I'm looking at 4 fingers right now. So how does he have a 5th ice cream? I don't know. From what we know, Larry knows that there's different flavors, a store that sells them, and the favorite flavors of the people that he's talking to right now. But you know what he doesn't know?
You didn't tell me it was gonna be cold. It's cold.
I love that part. Sure, it's one of those episodes that on the surface level, you might not come back to it anytime soon. But if you think about the deeper level, and Larry as a character, just looking around and observing the actions and what they may represent, this is a very deep episode. Just like with Bella, I want to see more episodes with Larry and Clarence. I would love to know more about this character. But what do you guys think? Does this episode interest you? Or how about Larry? I hope you're writing these questions down. You may forget them. This episode's a great episode. Possibly the best episode of Clarence. It does have a plot hole and a slow beginning, but I can slightly hand wave it because of the execution and design. It's a neat episode and just the tip of the iceberg for Clarence Season 2, along with Mystery Girl. So if you thought that my one review was just talking about the only good episode, Season 2 is full of good episodes. Let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comments below, and as always, I hope your time is well spent, and Alpha out.